Hello, this is Matt O'Grady, the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast, MattO'GradyCoaching.com, and TheLivingGratitudeBook.com. So today, the title is Abraham Hicks on Loving Yourself. So I just get really inspired by some of their work, and it just makes sense to talk about it here because so much of what we're talking about here relates directly to the philosophy that they share of releasing resistance. So anybody who's been playing in this sandbox for a while knows quite a bit about the overall Abraham philosophy and pulling the oars in the boat and going with the flow of life. Of course, you want to be in a river, but you know what I mean. This is really about energy and frequency and vibration. We talk so much about it. Kind of modern spiritual circles, right? Your thoughts, feelings equal your life, and there's something that often gets missed, and this idea of self-love really continues to be, I guess I'm in my third decade of practicing self-love on some level or another, and it just continues to deepen throughout the years, and it becomes much more relaxed and beautiful and a lot less of an effort. And it's not necessarily the self-love of being grandiose and needing to have all the attention or wanting to be successful or make a lot of money or be perfectly happy or any of that. It really is, I think, much more of this idea of getting in alignment, releasing resistance, appreciating who you are, accepting who you are, how you look, even how you feel, right? Because there's this interesting thing I talked about on one of the recent podcasts that you can check out, Blame, Shame, and Guilt. It's all in the title because it's really interesting how this idea of when we're not thinking uplifted thoughts and we're not feeling great, we can actually begin to notice that and spiral down. We start to think, oh man, I'm doing it wrong. I'm bad. What's wrong with me? All of these different types of directions that we can go. And that does not feel good. So if you can liken this practice of loving yourself much more with the basic teachings that they share, this being Abraham. And I have 3 quotes. One of their quotes just hit me that I saw recently related to self-love. I'll start with that one. So that one is really pretty cool. Loving yourself means feeling good no matter what everyone else thinks of you. So that's where we'll start. This idea of loving yourself has nothing to do with what other people think of you. So if you just really stop to take a moment, that means the accolades, the pats on the back, the compliments, none of that. We're taking all of that away for the moment. It has to do with how you feel about you, having nothing to do with what the world says of you, approves of you. You're a good mom, you're a good dad, you're a good friend, you're a good worker, employee, you're a good whatever. Lover, a good home keeper, a good money generator, whatever it is, all of that to the side, regardless of what anyone else's opinion is. No one's opinion but your own. Do you see the difference there? We're so rarely, truly, and authentically and completely transparently looking at ourselves through our own vision, our own perspective, we're usually, without even being conscious of it, working in the dozens of other opinions that we think people think of us, whether it's what they said or what we think they said or what we think they think or how they acted that day, last week, last year, 10 years ago. They didn't call you back. They didn't write you a nice email. They sent you a weird text. Whatever it is, I hear this stuff all the time, and so little of it is true. I think about how many different friendships I've had, at least slightly affected because I didn't text back or I didn't call back or I didn't, say something on the day that they were sad when I didn't even know they were sad or whatever it is, I forgot somebody's birthday. Listen, if that's what, our friend is constituted on, me remembering your birthday, it's going to be tough. I'm not the best birthday rememberer. And frankly, when people don't remember my birthday, I don't care. So for me, it's just not that important when it comes to, the quality and depth and beauty and love within our friendship. So if people are using that as a basis, it's going to be tough, right? And so it's the same thing with self-love. If you have these opinions about and ideas and kind of intellectual strata set up within yourself for how you will love yourself based on what other people think, what other people have said, what you think they think or have said or acted or whatever that is, because that's really tricky, right? We never really know what somebody else is thinking. They can tell us. We can think we're intuitively picking up on it or whatever other means we may have, our tarot card reader or a psychic or, I read about in a book when they look left, they're not telling the truth or what, come on. We don't really know. That's the truth. The truth is we don't really know. So if we take all that to be true and just focus on our own perspective of ourselves and aim to love ourselves with all of our faults, let's be honest, is anyone perfect? No frickin' way. I don't care who you are. Don't care. 7 billion of us on this planet, right? Not one perfect person. Pretty far down the list. As I'll tell anyone who will listen to me, I am no saint. But I am a philosopher and a poet, and somebody who likes to explore inner wisdom. But that doesn't make me a saint, and I'm not trying to be a saint. There have been times, I think, that in my younger years where it was someone who was really trying to be a good guy, But the truth is I was really trying to be what I thought other people's opinions were of a good guy or successful guy or a nice guy or a cool guy or whatever that is. And thankfully, I've given as much of that up as I can, and I continue to shed more and more of it every day because it doesn't matter. That's the truth at the end of the day, is it doesn't matter. And as long as we have those pieces in place and it affects how we think of ourselves so that we're critical or judge or even lift ourselves up, because that's really just about ego. That's not real, deep, authentic love, unconditional love, which leads us to another quote here by Abraham. Get it right. To get it just right. You work too hard and it gets you nowhere. You try too hard and it gets you nowhere. You don't love yourself enough and it gets you nowhere. We want you to have a joyful, self-loving point of attraction. So, essentially, they're just continuing to outline with this quote how important it is to be on this path of self-love that has nothing to do with other people's opinions. It has to do with joyful, self-loving point of attraction. Say that a few times. Joyful, self-loving point of attraction. Because when you're in that state, right, okay, let's use me as an example. I'm doing this podcast. I'm doing the best job that I can, but I can't control what you think about what I'm doing. I can only come from the most authentic heart space that I can muster, the most intelligent thought process that I can muster, get together my ideas, get together my quotes, my information, speak as eloquently and clearly as I can, with the wish, with the desire, with the hope and the aim that you enjoy what I'm saying to you and that it's helpful to you. And so after that, I let it go. I sit back and receive the emails at mattogreatycoaching.com. You hit contact, top right-hand side, if you want to send me a message. Tell me what you think of the podcast. Tell me what you think of me. Tell me what you think of how I teach these ideas. I'm more than happy to listen to it and respond to everybody. It does take me a while. I don't always get back in the first day or two. It may take me a week or something, but I will get back to you. So, and always feel free to reach out. I have years-long conversations with people who have never paid me a dime because I just enjoy them. I have fun. I make friends. So if that's something you're interested in doing, tell me what you want to hear in this podcast, just go to mattogreatycoaching.com, top right-hand side, hit contact, reach out to me. But anyway, that's it. I can't decide for you how you're going to receive the information that I share. I can't make you learn the things that I'm trying to teach, force you to like that I'm inspired by these quotes that Abraham put out. All I can do is follow my alignment, follow my joyful, self-loving point of attraction, and then see what happens. And what's happened is some really cool stuff. Like 12,000 downloads per month or whatever, that was a fun month recently, and it just continues to grow. When I see something like, 1,200 downloads in a day, it's like, oh man, that is so cool. It's awesome. It makes me feel like people are enjoying what they're listening to. When you reach out and tell me, of course, I appreciate it too. And, I love getting the questions. People ask me to take a lot of these things deeper, and I try to do it, whether it's in the blog or on Twitter or Facebook or, in email conversation. And soon we'll have the new $19.99 coaching program, so that'll make life a lot easier on all of us because I'm just going to channel so much more content over there. But this idea of a joyful, self-loving point of attraction, that's what we're aiming for. And I'm going to give you the third quote that really got me excited, and that is, you are the only one who can love yourself into a state of allowing, or hate yourself into a state of disallowing. Ooh, that last part stings a little bit, doesn't it? Have you ever been really hard on yourself? God knows I have. Thousands of times. It doesn't feel good. It really does not feel good. Whether it was somebody else's opinion of you or your own opinion of yourself, like you made a mistake or a bad decision or you hurt somebody's feelings or whatever it is, it does not feel good. And it is unnecessary, really unnecessary. You can learn from a quote-unquote mistake without beating yourself up. In fact, I would posit that you can actually learn much more if you're not so attached to what other people think, you're not so attached to beating yourself up, self-flagellation, if you are just more open to looking at things with an unattached perspective, just really watching and observing your feelings and your thoughts while being very alive and awake in your body, noticing what you're thinking and feeling. And as you do that, as you really start to monitor the emotional GPS, as Abraham calls it all the time, you really can start to see where your life goes. It's always this ebb and flow. There's very few people, even if they seem like it on the outside, I don't believe that there's anyone that's not just ebbing and flowing all the time. Even the Buddhas and the Jesuses and the Zoroasters or whoever else, these great enlightened beings who have lived, I even believe that they had their ups and downs, their better days, their more connected days, their days where they were remembering more deeply, as Abraham says, who they really are. That we're a soul having a human experience, that this is some sort of school, some sort of energetic experience in a physical place. There's so many great teachers who talk about this, how important it is to remember. And that's where I think self-love really starts to become spiritual as well, as a true spiritual practice, is that you're remembering who you really are is not your name and your skin and your accolades and your position and how much money you have. In fact, it has nothing to do with that. Your self-love has everything to do with the divine spark that you truly are. And you might say, hey, Matt, but I want to make my mark in the world. I want everybody to think I'm cool, or whatever it is. And I get it. I've been there. I still continue to aim at making my mark in the world. But my intentions are really different. My behind-the-scenes thoughts and feelings and wishes and desires and conversations with God or the universe or whoever really has very little to do with the external stuff and so much more to do with the internal self-love, love, giving, generosity, wishing happiness and joy for others. So as I kind of go there with my life more and more and more and more, because it just feels so good, that's, following this joyful, self-loving point of attraction that I'm talking about. As I do that, as I follow along that path and build my coaching practice and I write more books and start to build all these things and give and communicate with people more and help people in need and do all of these things, it just feels good. Better. And I just keep getting lifted up from the experience. I know I'm going in the right direction. I don't have to worry about what other people think. I don't have to worry about how it looks from the outside. I don't have to worry about the haters, as they say. We've all got at least one, right? It's okay. Let them hate. They're going to hate something. Who cares? Crimping your vibe, so to speak. Don't let it throw off your joyful, self-loving point of attraction, right? Because that's what the title of this should have been, your joyful, self-loving point of attraction. Well, maybe we'll do a follow-up on this. If somebody emails me about it and reminds me, I will do a follow-up just focused on that because, right, we could do hours of a show on how important that is. But as I get ready to wrap this up, what I want to do is point out how important, so many people that work with this teaching and work with this idea of law of attraction or, just achieving what you want or having goals and intentions for your life and getting it. So much of that has to do with this releasing of resistance and allowing, right? So let's just do this again. You're the only one who can love yourself into a state of allowing. Whew, man. I just have chills as I say that. You're the only one. You're the only one. So remember back to the very beginning of this podcast where I was talking about how what other people say doesn't matter? Here's the tie-in. Everybody, here's the tie-in. So that's it. That's the key. You are the key. Self-love is the lock. And if you go into self-love and align with it, you're going to open the door to the treasure room of all you've ever wanted, right? Hopefully that analogy, metaphor made sense because I just made it up. But as I was going, but I think it makes sense, and it felt good as I was saying it because it's the combination of these things of understanding how to vibrate that state of being, to really have those feelings. And not just to feel it for this oh my God moment, this aha moment, this, bejesus or something, right? It's that's fine if you have your your holy cannoli moment or whatever it is, that's great. However, in my opinion and in my experience, this one moment of a super high height of an ecstatic feeling pales in comparison to this kind of continued, long, pleasurable, joyful state of relaxed, happy, self-loving, allowing state of being where you're just in the zone and just relaxed, feeling good, letting it all unfold, relaxed, feeling relief, trusting, having faith, knowing everything you want is coming, and just kind of going through life that way. And then you start to feel it fall away, and you just relax again, and you pull it all back in, and you breathe, and you look, and you feel, and you see, and you just keep kind of that process going. And I'm doing that. Business meetings, I'm doing that. Conversations with my wife, I'm doing that. When I'm with my son, I'm doing that. When I'm hanging out with my friends, this practice has become just part of who I am. And continuing to let go of what anyone thinks of me. It's really annoying to get in an argument with me now because I don't argue. I really don't. I just state what I think and believe and what I'm feeling in the moment, and I just let it stand. People are like, but wait, you're not supporting your point. Well, I don't feel I need to, nor do I want to. And people are like, they get very frustrated with that. They think I'm a little crazy, but listen, I'm not in this life to be arguing or debating things or proving it to anyone. No, I've very little, if no, desire to do that. What I want to do is vibrate love, be happy, laugh, enjoy, give, receive, have fun, help. That's what I want to do. I want to be pointing in the direction and helping people figure out the things that they're having a tough time with, And even if they're having a great time, but they're looking to kind of get to this next level, I'm really excited to work with those people too. I'm so blessed to have many of you as clients who listen to this podcast all the time. And you're there. You're already very successful. But there's more. And we all have contrast, right? For a joyful, self-loving point of attraction. And then we're right back in the allowing game. We're right back in the frequency of all we want. We don't have to sit there and go through 87 steps on how to do it. We don't have to read 87 books on how to do it or listen to 87 different podcasts. You can just remember to keep aiming, keep coming back to your joyful, self-loving point of attraction. And a little footnote there is the self-love practice that has nothing to do with what other people think of you. Because when you do that, you would immediately minimize it. It becomes much more of an ego-related thing. It becomes much more of a physical, tangible society's view of you, your family's view of you, your friends' view of you, your coworkers' view of you, and that is a losing battle always. You can't please everyone all the time. It's just impossible. Instead, I highly recommend just going for what you want while loving everyone as much as you can along the way and just seeing how that treats you. Because that's this whole idea of a joyful, self-loving point of attraction that keeps you in this amazing state of allowing and just allows really beautiful blessings and gifts to be moving through you all the time. So anyway, that's where I'm at with this. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Had a ton of fun. It's been a while since I did one of these, I think a week. I'm still aiming at it here this summer as we start to move into all these other fun programs we're creating. So anyway, let's talk about it. Hope you guys are good. Look forward to hearing from you. Peace, peace, peace. MattO'Grady Coaching.com.